I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered today on traditional territory of signatories of Treaty 7. I'd also like to acknowledge that the Métis people of Alberta who have a deep connection with this land. So I wanted to thank Burwood Distillery for hosting this absolutely amazing event here this morning, and I'd also like to welcome everyone to my riding of Calgary-Klein on this absolutely beautiful spring day. I'm the MLA for this area. I'm also the Parliamentary Secretary of Community and Social Services for Civil Society, and I'm excited to be here today. Over the last few years, Alberta has seen a lot of growth in the distillery industry. This is especially impressive amid the pandemic. Distilleries are a great example of the resiliency of Albertans faced with COVID restrictions. Burwood Distillery started making and selling hand sanitizer, and I can tell you, as the Parliamentary Secretary of Civil Society, I just need to highlight this absolutely amazing example of how civil society businesses stepped up to meet need in this very difficult time that we saw. The ability to pivot pairs very well with the changed mandate of Travel Alberta, which now includes destination development. Burwood Distillery has focused on expanding its business to develop tours of the distillery and of course offering, which fits in very well with the growing image Alberta has as a beverage tourism destination. I'm proud to be here as the MLA representing this fine Alberta business, at least for now. Sad to hear that they're going to be moving, but look forward to representing the new distillery that will be moving in after them. And I'm excited to see Burwood Distillery evolve over the coming months and to see what they have in store for all of us. With that, I would like to introduce to you our Minister, Doug Schweitzer, as the Minister of Jobs, Economy and Innovation. Honourable Doug Schweitzer is responsible for coordination of Alberta Recovery Plan through supporting businesses, diversifying the economy, and encouraging innovation. And he's doing a great job. Minister?
Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody for being here today for this important announcement. For the last 2 years, the tourism industry in Alberta has had a tough time. It's been a struggle as we've been dealing with this pandemic, on travel restrictions, just restrictions in general when it comes to events across, during this time. And we have an immense amount of gratitude to all of the entrepreneurs, small business owners that stuck it out during the last couple of years. It's been really tough. And I have a huge amount of thanks as well to the leadership team on the tourism file. That would be my Parliamentary Secretary, Martin Long, as well as David Goldstein, the CEO of Travel Alberta, and the entire Travel Alberta team. I must say, they have traveled to every corner of Alberta. They've been meeting with small business owners, and the tourism industry is primarily driven by small business owners in every single community in this amazing province of ours, talking to them about how do we recover, how do we accelerate the recovery of our tourism industry. And from where we were to where we are right now, at the height of the pandemic, we lost over 50,000 tourism jobs. The vast majority of those tourism-driven jobs have now been recovered in the province of Alberta, but we still have a long way to go. And at the same time, we're seeing labor shortages in almost every industry in our province, everything from hospitality to the aviation industry, manufacturing, the oilfield services industry, and it's not lost on the tourism industry as well, that they've been disrupted over the last 2 years. People have looked for employment in other industries, particularly given the impact on the tourism sector. So we have to be there for them now to make sure that they can recover and get back to their pre-pandemic levels of tourism fast. So right now we're launching as part of our Alberta Recovery Plan and our budget, a $66 million investment over the next 3 years, in addition to the baseline funding of Travel Alberta. And I'm going to defer to Parliamentary Secretary Long and David Goldstein to give you the details on this, but it's really going to be focused on marketing the amazing opportunities to come and visit Alberta. We've got 2 of the highest visited national parks. We've also have Waterton, and again, one of the top 10 national parks. But there's so much more to Alberta. You have the festivals of Edmonton. We've got the Calgary Stampede here. We also have the amazing Royal Tyrrell Museum and Drumheller and the fossils there. So we have so many parts of Alberta that people want to experience. And on top of that, building up further partnerships with our Indigenous communities as well to highlight Indigenous tourism here in Alberta. People that come to visit our province want to experience Indigenous culture, and that is a big opportunity for us to partner with people, partner with Indigenous communities, and expand that quality experience in Alberta. So a big part of this is going to be on marketing. The other part of this is going to be around access. So Alberta is a fly-to destination for tourism. We don't have huge population clusters that are close to our province, so we have to make sure that we have the routes of people coming here and flying here. So you'll hear a little bit more on that. As well is around making sure that the experience when people come to Alberta is a world-class experience. So enhancing the experience on the ground, making sure that we have world-class opportunities, and you're going to hear a lot more about how we're going to collaborate with communities across Alberta, small business owners, and our Indigenous communities as well to make sure that this is a world-class experience when people come to Alberta to experience all the different parts of our province. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Martin Long, our Parliamentary Secretary for Tourism and Small Businesses. And again, I really must say a huge thank you to Martin for all of his engagement with small business communities and our tourism sector throughout this pandemic. He's been a huge addition to me, or help to me, so we can focus on other parts of the recovery plan. He's done an amazing job in this role. So over to you, Martin.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here in Calgary for this exciting announcement. My name is Martin Long, proud to be the Parliamentary Secretary for Small Business and Tourism. Thank you to the great team at Burwood Distillery for kindly hosting this announcement. It's been a long couple of years of COVID, and we know the tourism industry has been heavily impacted, some say decimated. As I've traveled the province talking to tourism operators, I've heard firsthand of the struggles that they've been facing, and yet in the true resilience of the sector, they're looking beyond the struggles this past 2 years to what the future will look like. We know that there's a lot of hard work ahead of us, and we started that work during the pandemic. Myself, along with the team at Travel Alberta, have been engaging with communities and operators across the province, and I do want to commend the Travel Alberta team for their efforts specifically. I know that when I've been on my own traveling the province and asked about the engagement from Travel Alberta, the resounding answer has been positive engagement and helpful, reliable commitment from that team. So really want to acknowledge them. But as we exit these last 2 years, we know that our Alberta economy is on a rebound. We're leading Canada in a number of different sectors with our economy. The tourism sector at this point is number 2 in our country for economic rebound, only to BC. Very proud to say that we're ahead of Ontario and Quebec in our economic rebound with tourism, and I hope to soon be able to say that we're going to be ahead of BC as well. I know that, again, the resilience and the competitive nature of our tourism sector will help us get there. You know, each year, people come to Alberta because of our landscapes, our destinations, and the experience. We draw millions of visitors who spend billions of dollars in our communities, which support thousands of jobs that Alberta families depend on. Visitors come here not only for our mountains, the Badlands, and the prairie vistas. They come for the local flavor. They come for the local experience. They come to places like the Burwood Distillery. With borders now reopening, we have an opportunity to entice tourists to come here and show them true Alberta hospitality. I was sharing this week with some people in Edmonton. I'm not sure that Albertans have truly grasped how friendly we are, but the rest of the world is obviously seeing it, and that's why they don't just come here for a visit. They actually come here for a visit over and over again. Our tourism sector, as I said, is already showing signs of recovery. This year, we've already seen air passenger growth of over 200% compared to last year. We're seeing restaurant receipts are increasing, hotel occupancy rates are increasing, and as of March, tourism unemployment is at 5.9% compared to March of 2021 when it was 13.1%. These numbers are very encouraging, but they also indicate how difficult the last few years have been on the sector. The recovery and growth of our tourism sector is an economic development priority for our government, and it's a key part of Alberta's recovery plan. And that's why the news here today is so important. Each measure is designed to help our partners in tourism across the province. I've chatted with many rural, small communities who, because of the importance that we're placing on the tourism, the future of tourism in our province, they are currently developing out tourism plans. And for me, that is extremely exciting for the opportunities it brings for long-term employment opportunities for those communities. Working with the tourism industry and Travel Alberta, we will ensure the visitor economy plays a vital role in our recovery. We have a lot to be really proud of in our province, a lot to showcase and highlight. We look forward to inviting the world back to our province to discover and rediscover the opportunities available from our northern border to our southern and from our eastern to western borders. We're so fortunate on this journey towards recovery and growing our visitor economy to have David Goldstein at the head of Travel Alberta leading the way. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge he's an absolute rock star in this role. I've had the opportunity and the privilege to work with him a lot over the past months. It's been an incredible opportunity for me to not only learn more, but to also hear the vision, see the progress, and with that, I'd like to invite him now to the podium to speak about the role of Travel Alberta as we move forward. Thank you.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you to MLA Nixon and Minister Schweitzer and my long travel partner, Parliamentary Secretary Martin Long, as we've crisscrossed the province over the last year or so. To our friends here at Burwood Distillery, thank you for not just letting us into your home today, but being such a great partner as we together build the visitor economy. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to go through some of the boring numbers, but the visitor economy to Alberta was worth roughly $10 billion a year to the Alberta economy. Roughly half of that was Albertans traveling around Alberta, but the other half were other Canadians and international travelers who would come and share their time here either as leisure visitors, business travelers, or students. It's a critical part of the economy, a critical part of the revitalization and diversity of the Alberta economy. We were drafted about a year and a half ago to be part of the overall recovery strategy for the provincial government. And our hope is, our plan, the bootstrap plan, is to get us back to that $10 billion mark by 2024, and hopefully to double those revenues by 2030, 2032. The plan that the Alberta government has put forward through Travel Alberta is ambitious. We are, as the minister noted, our mandate is shifted to a destination management organization, which is broader than the usual destination marketing organization that we had been, and many are. We're the only organization in Canada that has been given this mandate, and one of only two in North America that are taking this holistic approach to revitalizing and building a sustainable visitor economy here in Alberta. As the minister mentioned, there are three sort of legs to the stool, if you will: marketing, air access, and product and community development. Marketing, of course, the organization has been known as a lead marketing organization around the world for almost 15 years. The air access piece, as the minister mentioned, is critically important, and we've been working with airports and airlines to rebuild that infrastructure, those flights, particularly as we look into international markets. Working with both Calgary and Edmonton International Airports and the various carriers to rebuild flights to our key markets in California, Texas, New York, and then on to the international markets. But really what's germane to today's discussion is our work in community and business development, in fact becoming somewhat of a dedicated economic development corporation for the visitor economy. We're here at this fantastic distillery. I still don't know why we booked a distillery gig before 12 p.m. But it's a great example of the work that we can do to enhance the visitor experience. And I'm going to let Jordan go into this in more detail. But we've been partnering with this group and dozens of entrepreneurs across the province to make sure that we're ready with world-class experiences as the visitor economy returns. Distilling and broadleaf food and beverage is always ranks on the top 5 indices of what people are looking at when they're making a decision to travel. And it's not just the fact that they are distilling an exceptional product, but their future is based on building a visitor experience around that, which is really, really tremendous for us as we go into international markets and talk about Alberta as a place to visit, move, and invest. The farm-to-table capacity of this province is unparalleled, and in this place, it's sort of farm-to-glass. And as we work together, not just with the visitor economy, but with the agricultural folks around the province, Alberta has been known as a place that grows greatness, and we want it to be known as a place that creates excellence. So thank you very much for coming out this morning, and now I'm going to hand it over to Jordan to give you a little bit of the story of the distillery.
Hi there and good morning. My name is Dr. Jordan Ramey. I am the Chief Operations Officer here at Burwood Distillery, and I'm one of the original co-founders as well. First, I'd like to take a moment and welcome everyone to Burwood Distillery's original location here. So thank you for coming out with us today. So Burwood Distillery, we're a craft distillery. We've been in operation here in the province since 2016, and we're known for crafting a line of unique gins, whiskeys, as well as honey-based spirit products. When you think about a distillery and you think about any sort of beverage product, you always think about the story behind that product or the feeling that it elicits when you go and order that product out at a pub or at a retail liquor store. So Burwood Distillery, early on in our process, we decided that we wanted to communicate and engage with the local community, and we wanted to bring them inside the distillery, not just to have a cocktail, but to really experience what we're all about here in Alberta. Burwood Distillery has partnerships with local farmers, maltsters, and our also honeybee farm that one of our co-owners, Marco Cilic, runs for us. So when people come and experience Burwood, we want them to come and experience not just our product and our brand, but we want them to experience Alberta as a whole. As an agri-processor, our job is to utilize the local resources that we have available to us to add value to that product and turn that agricultural commodity into a tangible experience for our guests that visit us here. So to really communicate this message with the local community and to bring visitors into our distillery, we formed a partnership with Travel Alberta. And over the years, we began offering tours where folks could come and experience the production process in the back of house. And this expanded into learning about beekeeping and learning about some of the agricultural processes that went into the production of our products. The pandemic occurred, and I'm sure everybody is aware that it was very tough on the tourism industry. So our tours essentially dried up, and our tourists did as well. So that did give us the opportunity to really focus and revision what we wanted our guest experience to be like in the future. We knew the pandemic would end, and we knew the visitors would return. So with that in mind, we decided to make a core focus of our business to bring tourists into our facility and help to showcase Alberta and its wonderful agricultural products. So with that in mind, we've now secured a historic building here in Calgary, down in the Curry Barracks, and we knew that we would be able to then offer a nice front-facing tourist and beverage experience. Since we didn't need the entire facility, we knew that having strong industry partners would also be highly beneficial to us. So we've now partnered with a new and upcoming brewery known as Vacay Brewing Company, and we're also building a new farm-to-table restaurant there as well. But to really focus on the tourism experience, we want folks to be able to touch our process, taste our products, and experience what Alberta agriculture is all about, so that when they go home, they have a tangible product or experience that they can share with their friends, and they have something to talk about as they visit our wonderful province. So now when you visit our new facility in the Curry Barracks, we'll be offering make your own gin classes where folks can come, learn how the distillation process works, learn about some of the local flora here in Alberta, learn about Alberta agriculture, and craft completely custom gins that then they can take home with them to essentially take Alberta home in liquid form to share with their friends and family for their experience here in Alberta. So as we move into this new phase of tourism and experiential offerings at Burwood Distillery, we're so excited for our partnership with Travel Alberta and all the members of government that have been so supportive to us over the years. And we're really excited to start welcoming those new visitors and our old visitors into this new location and hopefully help them garner a unique and educational experience that really helps to showcase the wonders of Alberta and really helps to put a bow on that entire experience for their vacation here, as well as get the locals more involved and understanding the entire farm to table or farm to glass aspect of what a craft distillery is all about. So I'd like to take this time to just thank everybody, all of the fine folks from the government here, the Minister Doug Schweitzer, our MLA Jeremy Nixon, and our CEO of Travel Alberta, David Goldstein, and the Parliamentary Secretary, David Long, and really all members of government that have been so supportive as the craft beverage industry has been growing in Alberta over the past 10 years. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and cheers.
Brings us to the media question and answer portion of our announcement today. We will start with questions in the room. I know we're a bit cramped here. There is a microphone behind the row of cameras, and or if need be, I can share this one here. We can do one question, one follow-up, and I understand that all our speakers are willing to take questions. Do I see somebody at the mic in the back?
Yeah, can I go? Does it work? Actually, it's for the minister. Regarding the 10-year strategy of the government planning to double the tourism industry by 2030, by double, where would you say you are at the moment right now?
So in the last campaign, we had a very ambitious agenda to double tourism by 2030. We had to make sure we adjusted. And with the pandemic that happened, right now we're focused on Project Bootstrap that David Goldstein from Travel Alberta articulated very well. Our strategy right now is to get back to where we were at the pre-pandemic levels by 2024, and then still to pursue our ambitious agenda to double tourism. We hope to be able to do that by 2030, which was the initial target for us, but it may take until about 2032 and into the early 2030s, but we still are dedicated to growing out the tourism experience in Alberta. That's why we've put in place an additional $66 million over the next 3 years to help accelerate the recovery of the tourism industry.
And do you think you will need more investment in the future than the $66 million over 3 years to succeed?
Well, the focus right now is making sure that we take Travel Alberta to the next level, and that's why they have this destination management strategy. This is a unique strategy in all of Canada, and it's working. The response back from industry has been very positive, constructive, and they're able to respond in a more nimble and coordinated way than before, when we had this kind of split in government where there was part of it being done through Travel Alberta, part of it being done through the government of Alberta proper. By having it focused in one Crown corporation, it's far more coordinated and responsive to the needs of industry.
I think this is for David Goldstein. Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
The $66 million that Minister Schweitzer was just talking about, how do you see that $66 million being used? Additionally, are there certain areas where you plan to use that $66 million? And is that enough to meet the goals of Travel Alberta going forward when we talk about not just recovery, but expanding, doubling by 2030?
So we believe the investment, at least for the 3-year bootstrap plan, can get us to where we need to get to. And I think to put it into perspective, we're more than halfway there. That was largely Albertans traveling around Alberta, but we're a little more than halfway to our goal of getting back to 2019 levels. We've surpassed our goal already from an air access perspective to Alberta from domestic and U.S. carriers, U.S. flights. So we're actually gaining a fair amount of momentum. So we think at least for the 3-year plan for Bootstrap, the investment is right-sized. The difference, without getting too technical, is a lot of destination marketing organizations say they're in the management but they're really just taking their marketing dollars and redistributing this. This plan allows us to maintain the marketing budgets, especially the international marketing budgets as we reemerge, but it gives us just over 20 million a year to actually invest in that access and product development piece. So that gives us an opportunity to work with entrepreneurs like the distillery to build out their tourism product without interfering with the marketing budget.
I also know one of the big challenges, and it might be one of the longer things to get back, are the conferences and events like in places like downtown Calgary and that